Hawks ball. Derek. Fouls on Justin Hopkins. That's his first of the evening. First team foul on the Hawks. Royals ball underneath. Lacoste is fouled on the shot. He'll be stepping to the free throw line. The foul's on MacArthur. That's his first. First team foul on the Royals. Lacoste will shoot two. Ryan Lacoste. Lacoste. Patrick. Three, Altenberger. MacArthur.
An early foul. He is the leader for the Lynnwood Royals, and it's going to be really important for him to stay out of foul trouble here. So he picked up one foul early. Hopefully he can stay in the game and play major minutes. He's a great player, an all-around scorer.
Derek Anima for three, misses that one. He might have been having a little audio difficulties, which we just fixed. So if not, we will get those starting lineups to you again in a minute. 7-4 right now. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks leading the Lynnwood Royals. MacArthur out on top, drives into the lane, floats one up underhanded, misses the shot. Brian Lacoste getting the rebound, and here comes Gabe Powder looking to push it. Carried the ball.
Carrying the ball, turnover for the Royals.
So 4:11 to go here in the first quarter. Mountlake Terrace 7, Lynnwood 4. Steve Willits along with Everett Edwards. Just talking a minute ago how Everett's team defeated Mountlake Terrace 75-8 earlier. A team that your team finished third in the state last year at the 4A level.
Yes. We had a great finish to the year last year. We finally made it through that regional round as Bryce Milne is having a tough time getting through, and Eli Edwards puts one up for three.
Dad with the call. Eli Edwards from about 25 feet out drills the three-pointer. His dad makes the call there. 7-7 tie. Nice little did you teach him to shoot 25-footers?
He got it all from his mom, nothing from me.
So Eli with the nice basket there. Derek Anima from the corner puts that one up, hits it.
Derek
Anima now with 4 points for the game, 9-7. So this has got to be fun for you. You're watching your son play varsity now. Both of your daughters, obviously, Jasmine, who we're going to talk about in a few more minutes here, she's playing at Central now.
Yes.
Jordan's playing for you on the girls' team. Kind of fun to look at there and see number 4 running around the court?
It's a family affair. I got my son up here in the stands. Anthony Edwards, he played for Lynnwood back in the day. He's 21 now, and it's a lot of fun as Lynnwood is trying to handle the full court pressure and turn the ball over here. So Mountlake Terrace ball. But it's a lot of fun having our family and being involved with Lynnwood, and it's been a great couple of years.
Oh, indeed. It's been a fun ride for you guys, just in general on the girls' side of things. Mentioned that you finished 3rd in state last year. Certainly it's early, but you look like you're definitely poised and ready to make a run at a title this year. Obviously, you as a coach, you don't want to think that far ahead, but certainly a lot of the so-called experts are picking you to finish high anyway.
If we could keep our team healthy as Lynnwood is out in transition now. Bryce Milne trying to get to the hole and travels. But, if we can keep healthy, that's for any team that's playing, boys and girls, high school, college, or professional. If you could keep your team healthy, I think we would have a great shot to compete to hopefully win our league and win our district and compete for a state title. But a lot of it depends on keeping kids healthy.
I should point out that if you have not had a chance to watch this Lynnwood team yet, a great opportunity on Wednesday as Lacoste passes the ball back to Adam Lorraine, who's in for the first time tonight. Lorraine is a 5'8" sophomore guard. Lacoste driving baseline, misses it, gets his own rebound, finds Altenberger along the right side of the key. Altenberger puts it up and in. Gabe now with 5 points for the game. 11-7 Terrace. Lacoste goes flying into the stands trying to save the ball, isn't able to do so. Want to give a plug to Wednesday night. We will not be broadcasting the game live, but we should be either posting it later on that night or the next day. Your Lynnwood Royals are going to take on the Snohomish Panthers, a very good team up in the north end who a lot of folks think is going to contend for the 4A title.
Coach Ken has a loaded squad, and I know they've had a couple of losses recently to Glacier Peak and Arlington, so I know they're going to come into the Lynnwood gym hungry for a win. So we're real excited for that game.
So again, Wednesday night, 7:15. We'd like to see folks out there at Lynnwood High School, and if not, like I said, you can tune back into the Sound Live Sports Network either later that night or the next day, and we'll have that game posted in its entirety. Robert Todoroff made a basket on the last trip down for Lynnwood. Now looking to either tie or take the lead. Patrick floats that one up towards the basket. Misses the shot, but draws the foul.
This is a real fun game to watch. Again, you got Mountlake Terrace, full court man pressure. You got Lynnwood with their full court 2-2-1 and pressure in the half court. A lot of fun to watch.
Now you've been, obviously we talked about it before, your son is wearing the number 4 out there. So you've been to both of the Lynnwood boys games this year so far.
I have.
Two losses, but what have you taken from those losses? Are you starting to see gradual improvement?
Well, what I'm seeing is that they're playing very hard defensively. They're really looking to pressure the ball as much as possible and really playing up tempo on the offensive end. So they're at a point that if you play good defense, you're going to be in most every game, and that's where it's been for them so far here. So hopefully they can continue to play that good pressure and pressure the ball and try to cause some turnovers and get some easy run-outs.
Continuing to press here as Terrace works the ball up the court. 1:47 to go here in the first quarter. So it's a Lynnwood team that is 0-2 so far this year. They lost the last 9 games of the regular season last year. It's Altenberger for 3! Hits it! Gabe with his second 3 of the game. He's got 8 points on the night so far. 14-10 Hawks. Looking to pressure Lynnwood as Patrick brings the ball over the center line. Long 3-point shot, in and out. That was Todoroff with another shot. Hawks on the other end getting the ball up to Altenberger. Daniel Johnson getting his first action. He gets blocked from behind. That's Tyler MacArthur. Coach, you mentioned earlier MacArthur, one of the key players on this team this year, right?
He is an all-around player. He can shoot it from the perimeter, but his game is slashing to the hoop. If he can get it from 15 to 18 foot, and if he has a slight gap, he's really nimble and able to get to the key and get to the rim. So again, it's good to see him get out here, get a quick blow with that one foul, because Lynnwood's going to need him for all 4 quarters if they're going to compete in this game.
Lynnwood making a couple of substitutions there as Julian Walker checks in for the first time, as well as Christian Vasquez. There's Elijah missing that shot. Dad didn't like that too much. Just a little bit too much glass on that one. The Hawks coming back on the other end. Gabe Altenberger kicks it over to Gabe Powder. Back to Altenberger. Hawks looking to go down low right now. Can't find anything. Vasquez steps in. He steals the ball. He's got a 2-on-1. He flips it up over his shoulder. Misses it. Walker looked like he had a chance for it for a moment there. It bounced off of him and into Altenberger's hands. Terrace presses on the other end. Back to Julian Walker. Here come the Royals. Back with Vasquez over to Patrick. Setting it back up on top. Shot clock and game clock are only 1 second apart with 25 seconds to go in the quarter.
Doesn't seem like the shot clock's going to be an issue in this game.
And as soon as you say that, Julian Walker takes it right to the hole, lays it in. 14-12, Hawks with the lead. Coach, you and I were talking before the game, hoping for a good one, and we've got it so far.
Yes, you see Christian, number 15, is very aggressive along with Julian up top, and so Lynnwood's able to cover a lot of ground.
Altenberger misses the three. Edwards tries to throw up a three-quarter court shot. Not good. We've come to the end of the first quarter. Mountlake Terrace 14, Lynnwood 12. We're going to take a quick break. You are watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Are you a whiz in filmmaking? Do you want to become extraordinary in filmmaking? Then come to Shoreline Community College and work with Shoreline Productions, where you will learn to transform your work in teams of working professionals and students to create enchanting effects such as green screen, text animation, and so much more. So come to Shoreline Community College, where you can mystify and dazzle in filmmaking.
And here we go, second quarter of action. Mountlake Terrace with the 14-12 lead at the end of the first. Gabe Powder swings it over to Gabe Altenberger. It's over to Justin Hopkins, back to Altenberger. Derek Anima dishing down low, and Hopkins is blocked from behind.
That was great execution by Mountlake Terrace, hitting that post in the flash, but a great presence inside by Tanner to show that we're not going to give up any easy layups there. So good play on both ends of the court.
Tanner Mack, a 6'3" junior. He looks like he's a pretty opposing guy down there.
Hey, he is. He's very aggressive, good at blocking shots, but in today's game of 20 million fouls being called, we got to be a little cautious sometimes. But that was a good way to protect the basket there.
And Justin Hopkins will step to the line, and that means another moment for our Edmonds Sports Academy from the Stripe sponsorship. We appreciate them for doing so as Hopkins floats the first one up and in. Gets that one to go. Hopkins with his first basket of the game. So you mentioned that. Do you feel like the referees call the games differently than they did 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Well, they're instructed to call the games that way. So no fault to the refs. They've been instructed to call it, but it's definitely a different game right now that they don't want any hands-on, anybody dribbling the basketball. So you're going to have to adjust your style of defense.
Well, now, what are your thoughts on that? Do you have pros and cons to it? I mean, are you a fan of the game the way it's called now? Would you rather see them be more physical?
We're adjusting. We really emphasize moving our feet, not playing with our hands.
Anima from 16 out hits it. He's now got 6.
And it's at all levels, high school level, college level, and even in the NBA. And there's a call right there with the hand check.
Perfect example is Gabe Powder picks up the foul. And then that play right there 5 years ago is probably not a foul then, right?
Not a foul at all. That's just good basketball, good defense, but in today's game, it's a foul.
Powder now with 2 fouls for the game. That's 4 on Mountlake Terrace for the half. Tyler MacArthur throwing the ball in from right in front of us here. Vasquez being guarded by Ali Shaw, getting his first action of the year as Shaw was out with an injury for a while. Derek Anima looking to go coast to coast, lays it up. Doesn't get the basket, but does draw the foul as Tyler MacArthur makes contact with Anima on the play.
And that's going to be Tyler's second foul. So kind of like we talked about, we're early in the second quarter here, and he's got 2 fouls. So he's going to have to be real smart here to not pick up a third.
Two teams that don't have a lot of height, really. I mean, when you look at the rosters, Mountlake Terrace, right now they're playing without Shimron Massey, who's out for a while. He's 6'4", but he's the tallest player on the Mountlake Terrace Hawks team. So really, 6'3" is the tallest player that's active right now.
Yes.
I think that's the same for Lynnwood as I look down their roster. 6'3", and then it goes down to 6'2".
Yes, it's definitely a game, and Coach Richards has made the adjustment and is playing, pressure defense and small ball. But again, without having that depth, you're going to have to protect who is your best player with Tyler MacArthur. So hopefully he can play without picking up that third foul.
Anima, who has a 14-point and a 15-point game already this year, now with 8 here early second quarter. Get another foul called. Gabe Altenberger picking up the foul. Daniel Johnson in for the second time tonight, wearing the number 13. Heck of a football player, by the way. Up-and-coming football player as a sophomore. There's number 12 with the ball right now. That's Tanner Mack. Can't get that one to go. Hawks with their largest lead of the night at 20-12 and looking for more with 7:03 to go here in the second quarter. Anima driving in, floats it up from 10 feet out and gets it.
Anima's a very strong player, good at getting to the rim and finishing strong as Julian takes it coast to coast for the layup.
Walker now with 4 points, and he's a good looking shorter guard.
He is. He's very strong, very fast, very aggressive. With Julian and Christian up at the point, that's probably the best defensive combo in terms of pressuring the ball. No foul.
Anima kicks it over to Johnson. Johnson going to drive the lane. Floats it up over the shoulder, gets it to drop. Daniel Johnson with his first 2 of the game. It's now 24-14. Mountlake Terrace with a 10-point lead.
About time to try to see if we can get Tyler MacArthur the ball. He's kind of struggled to get him some looks.
Nice spin move by MacArthur.
He goes to the hoop, doesn't get the call there.
It looked like there was a little contact there, but it does not get called on Anima. On the other end, Daniel Johnson floats one high off the backboard. Altenberger tried to tip it up, couldn't get it to go. Vasquez on the other end, looking for his trailer, which was Mack. Bounced it a little bit too high, and Ollie Shaw able to come down with that one. Altenberger driving in from the right, kicks it out to Shaw, open 3! Off the back iron, bounces out, and Milne comes up with it. 5:36 to go here, second quarter. Milne floats one up, draws a foul.
Bryce Milne is a sophomore, a really strong kid, very quick, good handles. His strength is getting to the rim and ultimately getting to the foul line here. So, again, if there's an open court type of a game, Bryce is very capable of getting to the rim and finishing strong.
Justin Hopkins picking up his second foul of the game on that play. 6th team foul against the Hawks in this trip to the free throw line as Milne hits the first one. This trip is also brought to you by our From the Stripe sponsor, Edmonds Sports Academy.
Lynnwood's going to have to account for number 35 there for Mountlake Terrace.
Anima, yeah.
Yeah, Anima. He's really right now shredding up the zone pressure defense right now and is getting too deep into the key. Lynnwood's going to have to adjust to try to keep him out.
He only makes the second one. Coach, the one thing I wondered about coming into this game, Mountlake Terrace played last night, so this is the second of a back-to-back. Obviously, we talked about it earlier, they have a few injuries right now, so they're a little bit depleted on their roster. Shaw puts up a three-pointer and misses it. I know when we look at, for instance, NBA games, you always worry about teams on the second game of a back-to-back because they get tired. I know obviously there's travel involved and other things, but at the high school level, how tough is that for kids? I know some of these kids during summer camps and whatnot, they play 5 games in 3 days. I mean, do we need to worry about them much on back-to-backs, or what's your philosophy on that?
You know, it is an issue. It's something that in terms of playing defense and being a pressure defense team, it's good for Coach Richards for Lynnwood to keep the pressure up with hopes that in the second half, maybe Mountlake Terrace, with their own full court pressure that they're doing to Lynnwood, it would wear on their legs, and maybe in the third and fourth quarter they'd miss those shots. So it definitely does factor in a team's depth and their overall style of play, and if you could wear a team down, that's something that our girls team we definitely try to do. We might not win the first or second quarter, but we hope to win the third and the fourth.
And I guess if you get to the Tacoma Dome, I mean, there's, 3 games in 3 days? So
3 games in 3 days.
And that's where it counts.
We actually head down to Oregon after Christmas for a tournament where the girls are playing in 4 straight days, the 27th, 28th, 29th, and the 30th. So that'll be a great test for us in terms of our overall depth and our conditioning. So.
Now, where's that tournament played at? Where in Oregon?
I believe it's going to be at Lake Oswego High School. It's a Nike, some type of a tournament down there. That's a very, very competitive tournament.
So these are your run-of-the-mill, middle-of-the-pack teams that you're going to be playing. You're going to be playing some of the top teams on the West Coast, is that right?
They have Oregon City, who made it to the finals. St. Mary's is down there. Again, it's a very prestigious tournament. We're very happy to represent our Wesco League and the state of Washington down there because there's a bunch of good Oregon teams.
Now, fill me in on this one. I know you traveled down to Oregon last year in December for a tournament. Some of the games got snowed out, is that right?
One of the games got snowed out, yes, as there's a scramble for the ball here, and Mountlake Terrace keeps possession, but
Altenberger off the mark. Rebound by Lacoste. Dishes over to Johnson. Nicely done. Misses that. Lacoste tips it up. Can't get that one to fall. Johnson trying to snow. That was Nemeth trying to save it.
Mountlake Terrace is dominating Lynnwood on the boards. Be it Lynnwood doesn't have the biggest, strongest team out there, but the guards are going to have to go in and help out because Terrace is showing their strength on the boards here.
Oh, indeed. Something we didn't see from them last night as they lost to Marysville Pilchuck right here in the Terraceum. Different team coming out tonight, and I'm sure Nayland Sood had something to do with that and let his players know about it. Milne throws that one up, draws the block. Right call, Coach? Wrong call? Indifferent?
I didn't quite see that one there, be it I'm a little biased for Lynnwood,
sure.
But yeah, that might have been a tough call to make there, but Bryce got the call. He was very aggressive and putting the refs on the spot. They have to make a bang-bang call, and Lynnwood got the benefit that time.
So Milne back to the line, hits the first one, 24-17, as Milne now has 3 on the game. Another trip to the line, also brought to you by our From the Stripe sponsor, the Edmonds Sports Academy. And, Coach, I've had this conversation with Mountlake Terrace head boys coach Nayland Sood on numerous occasions as Milne hits the second one. I know there have been years where, obviously, when Mountlake Terrace is poised to go to the state tournament and they know they've got the team, Nayland's philosophy is he likes to schedule those really, really tough games because he figures that even if they lose the games in December, it gets them battle-proven and ready to go for March when they might make it to the state tournament. Do you have the same philosophy? I mean, you're playing Snohomish early in the season. You've got the tournament coming up in Oregon. Would you rather play those tough games and see what the girls can do, or are wins more important?
Yes, we have 8 non-league games we can schedule, and out of the 8, all of them are going to be competitive. We play against Wilson from Tacoma. A little bit later, we have Snohomish. We have Todd Beamer from Federal Way, and the 4 games down in Oregon. And so if we might have a few more losses on our regular season record with playing such a tough schedule, but we hope that'll prepare us for the district and hopefully the state tournament.
Back to the line. Shooting 1-1, he hits the first one, and this trip to the free throw line is also brought to you by our From the Stripe sponsor, Edmonds Sports Academy. 8 fouls now on the Mountlake Terrace Hawks. So Lynnwood will, in fact, continue to be in the bonus for the remainder of the half as Mack hits the second one as well. 6-0 run as Lynnwood getting back into it now, only trailing by 4, 24-20.
Lynnwood's doing a good job of pressuring the D without fouling. I mean, they're able to keep the pace up, but they're not committing fouls. And at the same time, they're attacking the basket and getting Terrace in a little bit of foul trouble there.
Lacoste along the baseline, gets himself trapped, looking to kick it back out, gets it to Lorraine, over to Gabe. Altenberger gets it down to Lacoste. Lacoste from 12 feet out, swish. Ryan with his first field goal of the game. He now has 4 points, 26-20. Milne picking up the screen from Mack. Kicks it into the corner. That's Edwards over there. Coach, give us your assessment on number 4 here as he
turns the ball
over. Lorraine back on the other end. Floats one up in between 2 players. Altenberger there with the offensive board, but can't get the shot to go.
And Lynnwood's going to go back to the free throw line here for the 1-1. Bryce Milne's back. Terrace, again, is dominating inside, but they had a tough time finishing at the rim here. And with Lynnwood getting the ball and getting the foul, they're able to keep the game close at the line here.
Milne going to the line with 1-1. Another trip. Another sponsor, Edmonds Sports Academy. Our From the Stripe sponsors. Milne hits the front end. 5 points on the night, 26-21. Yeah, I'm looking out here on the court right now. You've got Todorov, who's a junior. Milne's a sophomore. Your son's out there. He's a sophomore.
You know, we have a lot of, young guard play, but everybody's missing that 6'7", 6'8" stud in the middle.
Yeah,
but,
it helps.
Yeah, the kids are playing hard here and, again, playing a great defense. If you're undersized, you tend to have to pick up the pressure, and they're doing a good job of that.
And Nima floats another one in. That is his 8th point of the quarter, 12 for the game. And yeah, Coach, I'm looking out on the floor here right now, and if I've got this correct, there's 10 players out on the floor.
Yes.
I think we've got 9 non-seniors. Patrick is the only one out there playing right now who is not class of 15, so 2 young teams going at it.
I believe Lamar, number 23 from Lynnwood, is a senior.
Lamar Patrick, he's the only one. Yeah, the other 9, though, all underclassmen. Daniel Johnson coming down the other side, floats it up, count the basket, and draws the foul.
That's one of those tough plays that either you kind of, let them go through, or you want to make the hard foul, not let them get the end one. But again, Terrace is doing a good job of attacking the rim and bringing the action to the Lynnwood Royals.
So Johnson to the line, shooting the bonus. And this trip to the line also brought to you by our From the Stripe sponsor, the Edmonds Sports Academy. 4th team foul against Lynnwood.
Situation here, you're protecting Tyler MacArthur with the 2 fouls, but at the same time, you don't want the lead to.
And Derek Anima, Johnny on the spot, gets the offensive board as nobody was covering the hoop there. And Hawks making that a 4-point play essentially. Anima now with 14 for the game. Milne drives the lane, floats one up, can't draw the foul against Altenberger. Anima takes the rebound, doesn't have the numbers on the other end. Finds Lacoste cutting to the hoop, lays it in! Coach Richards wants a timeout, a full timeout. No, we're going to call this a 30, so we'll keep it right here.
Right now, Lynnwood is having a tough time. They're trying to pressure, but the guards and players from Mountlake Terrace are able to get by and get into the keys. So it's, again, a situation here that the Royals are going to have to make an adjustment here because Terrace is attacking the rim and really dominating on the boards here.
Coach Richards having a word with his team right now. This is a Lynnwood team. I can tell already they're certainly more competitive than they were last year, for instance.
Yes.
I mentioned earlier these 2 teams played in December last year. It was 83-30.
Yes.
They lost their last 9 games of the season. They've lost their first 2 games this year.
Yes.
As a coach, what does he have to do to keep the spirits up of his team while trying to teach at the same time? I mean, have you had a chance to talk to him a little bit about what he's going through?
And you just got to keep, coaching them up and teaching them up and trying to keep it as positive as possible. When you face adversity with the loss and losing some games and blowouts, you just have to keep coaching them up and trying to keep it positive and honestly keeping it fun. Because it's a situation that in playing a game you want to keep it as positive as possible.
Kind of a strange question, but I'm curious, so I'm going to ask it anyway. As Mac has the ball. Is it tough when you're a team and you're a program, like for instance the boys team that struggles and doesn't have the record to show for it, and then they look across the hallway and they've got a girls team like yours that's competing for the state championship? What is the dynamic like between the 2 teams? I mean, obviously it's a lot easier when both teams are having success at the same time and they can kind of share in it. Is it something that the players talk about with each other? I mean, obviously it's...
We're all, students, and we're all supporting each other through the good and the bad and the wins and the losses. We're student athletes first, and so it's a situation that the boys support us and our girls support the boys.
And Lacoste driving baseline there from the left and gets fouled by Mac. Hit to the line shooting 2.
But we hope that with our girls' success that we can not only affect our boys' basketball team, but also our football team. Our football team had the best season we've had in probably 20 years here. In the last couple of years, we've had our softball team, girls' softball team have success, and just to show that we can play at the highest level here at Lynnwood. So we hope to be an inspiration to all of our sports programs to show that we have great student athletes here and we can be very competitive in athletics.
And missing the second shot is Lacoste. That was also brought to you by Edmonds Sports Academy. Glad you mentioned football. That segues me right into it. Number 33 stepping onto the court for the first time tonight, Andrew Katzenberger.
Yes.
Katzenberger had himself a heck of a year on the football field.
He did. He's a stud. And I tell you what, for him to come out here and just invest the time in terms of practice and everything else and to get out here and to be a physical presence. And, I mean, that's one thing that Lynnwood doesn't have is a lot of strength. And he brings that strength and it kind of sets that tone on the defensive end. And he might not be the most skilled basketball player, but I'm very just appreciative of his effort and want to come in and help our program and keep in good condition at the same time.
Sure. Julian Walker to the line right now, shooting 2 since we're in double bonus. That was the 10th foul against the Hawks. Misses the first, hits the second, so it's now 34-23. 36 seconds to go. And I'm glad you brought that up a minute ago, Coach. Obviously on the Sound Live Sports Network, we also do other sporting events as well. As Anima hits that one from the corner, just inside the line. Now that's 12 for the quarter, 16 for the game as Milne floats that one up from 3, misses it. But yeah, we had a chance to cover quite a few of those Lynnwood games this year, and Coach Bankhead and his staff did a remarkable job. I know late in the season it kind of got away from them a little bit, mainly because of injuries, quite frankly. They were just so banged up and still out there competing, but really hats off to those kids and that program and what they've become. And certainly they're starting to build some things for the future. As Lorraine throws up a 3, misses the shot. And we have come to the end of the first half. The score is 36-23, Mountlake Terrace over Lynnwood. Coach, we'll maybe keep you here for one more segment, then let you go, but I appreciate you on here for the first half. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions. If you've been wanting to get back in the game, whether it's basketball or just improving your fitness level, Edmonds Sports Academy is the place to go. Edmonds Sports Academy, believe in the power of play. Call them at 425-772-1901.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Lynnwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
And we are back again at the Terraceum with our halftime score. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks 36, the Lynnwood Royals 23. I'm going to flip over the crowd mic right now as Vince DeMiro is presenting the Pursuit of the Power Plunger Trophy to the Mountlake Terrace Hawks right now. And here we go.
You know, the real winners there are most of our community members, because I'm told too that between the two schools together, both air highs and both schools gathered more than 30,000 cans for our local food banks here. So let's give a big round of applause for our students for doing that. 30,000 cans of food. That's fantastic. So let me get 2 points in the canned food drive, because that's the most important. But I'm told that Lynnwood was not able to field any of their PPP So Terrace gets 2 points there, and then the next thing is the number of people in the stands. And I was told that the official count tonight is Terrace has more people in the stands than Lynnwood. So by a close tally of 3-2, it is my, I don't know if I want to say it's my distinct honor, because I'm not sure I even want to touch this particular trophy, but Asia Lee, as the inter-high president, you are now the recipient of the 2014-15 Pursuit of the Power Plunger Trophy. So wherever that goes, you've got it now. So congratulations to both schools, both inter-high programs, and congratulations Asia Lee and Mountlake Terrace High School. So I'm told we're going to have a little exhibition. The way that this works, parents and community members and fans, if you have not seen this, this is something you can't unsee. So I'm apologizing ahead of time here. Actually, well, how this works is that there is a vehicle. You can have just about any kind of vehicle that you want, but the only method of propulsion is that you have to use toilet plungers. I guess they could be sink plungers, to propel yourself down the court, baseline to baseline. And normally there is a collection of 4 individuals, so it's a bit of a relay here. And I can tell you that yesterday at the Winter Activities Assembly that there were all methods of transportation and plunging going on, some of which probably were more PG-13 than G. But we have 2 groups here. Who do we have representing here? Freshman girls and sophomore guys? All right. So Asia Lee, on your count, get them started. All right, there you go. Thanks for the exhibition here. Just so you fans know, there are always teams representing each of the grades, both genders, and then at Mountlake Terrace we always have
Denver!
A faculty
And
race.
we are back again
And
on the Sound
I'll
Live
just say
Sports
that
Network. Our halftime
winning
score,
that
the
one
Mountlake
isn't-
Terrace Hawks 36, the Lynnwood Royals 23. This halftime is being brought to you by our halftime sponsor, Action Jackson Plumbing. Give Action Jackson a call for all of your plumbing needs. And we are watching right now, or we were watching some of the festivities that were surrounding the Pursuit of the Power Plunger contest, otherwise known as the PPP. And a lot of things were thrown at us just now in terms of some of the contests that have been going on between the schools all week. But I think the key number, and maybe the stat of the night, Everett, 30,000 cans of food raised between both of these two high schools as part of the week-long festivities. So really, congratulations to both schools for doing that.
You know, isn't that great? I mean, and especially at this time of the year, you know, during the holidays where the weather gets a little bit cold. And I know whenever you see any homeless people out there, and just knowing that this event here and this whole week has helped to provide food for those in need is just a great thing.
Yeah, so anytime we can see these young folks getting involved and getting active and really helping our community out, it's always a nice thing, and we hope they continue to do that. And hey, in the meantime, a trophy is given out with a toilet plunger on it. You don't see too many of those, and apparently the trophy this year has been won by Mountlake Terrace. It's an activity that's been going on, I think, for around 14 or 15 years now. And like I said, just a really fun time. It ends up culminating in these 2 basketball games on a Saturday of every year, but really it's more about some of the activities that take place during the week, and again, that's the main thing. So nicely done, guys. Hey, looking at some of the scoring here for the first half, we'll go through the Lynnwood Royals first. We'll just go right down the line here. Julian Walker with 5 points. Robert Todoroff with 2. Eli Edwards with the big 3-pointer. Tanner Mack with 2 free throws. Bryce Milne with 6 free throws so far tonight. We've got Lamar Patrick with 3 points. And Tyler MacArthur with 2.
This is a situation there in the second half with Lynnwood being down 13. They're going to have to find ways to get Tyler going. I know right now Lynnwood is being very aggressive in transition, and they're really aggressively shooting the ball, but they're going to have to look to get Tyler more involved if they're going to come back here and make this a competitive game.
Yeah, not a good thing when your leading scorer has not scored a field goal yet in the game. He's got only has 6 free throws, and he leads the team. Looking down for Mountlake Terrace right now, Daniel Johnson with 4 points, Gabe Altenberger with 8, Ryan Lacoste with 6 points, Justin Hopkins with 2, and last but certainly not least, Derek Anima with 16 points, 12 of which came in that second quarter.
Derek Anima is just really impressed me with his all-around play. He has a nice little 15 to 18-foot jumper. He's good at driving to the hoop. He's a strong, athletic, good-looking player here, and he's only a junior. So,
and now already with his career high, he had a 14-point game and a 15-point game earlier this season. He's already bested that tonight, and he's got 16 more minutes to go, rather, as Julian Walker will bring the ball up the court for Lynnwood to start the third quarter out. Milne holding it on that right wing. Looking down low. Kicks it back to MacArthur. You mentioned they need to get him going. Let's see if he can do something here. Looking for Walker. Backdoor, nice play. Walker lays it up and in.
Great way to start the half for Lynnwood. Nice set offense. They ran their stuff all the way through and got a nice shot.
And when you're down by 13, it's hard to kind of keep that composure and you want to kind of run and get the thing going, but really nice job by Lynnwood taking their time waiting for the right play there.
Yes, great possession. Everybody touched the ball at least once.
Lacoste on the baseline goes up and lays it in.
So that's too easy. Lynnwood's going to have to adjust. They're giving them too easy of buckets in their zone.
Walker looking over for number 23. That's Lamar Patrick. Milne up on top. Get a push off in the paint. See who they call that on.
So this is the situation where Lynnwood has to find that balance of looking to attack. Terrace had quite a few fouls in the first half, and they're concerned about their players getting into foul trouble. So hopefully Lynnwood can, again, stay aggressive and try to get a couple of those calls to help them to get to the free throw line.
Yeah, Nima picking up his second on the play and comes back and gets the steal and kicks it over to Lacoste as he falls to the ground. Lacoste giving it off to Altenberger. Altenberger goes up. And they're going to call the charge. I think that was the right call.
Yes, it was. Tyler established himself, and again, a nice aggressive play, but I believe that was the right call there.
Altenberger picking up his second foul. It's the second team foul against the Hawks. Can hear the Mountlake Terrace fans behind us. They don't seem to be too happy with it, but give MacArthur a lot of credit. And we get a timeout from Lynnwood. We're going to take a quick break. It is a full timeout. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
If you've been wanting to get back in the game, whether it's basketball or just improving your fitness level, Edmonds Sports Academy is the place to go. Edmonds Sports Academy, believe in the power of play. Call them at 425-772-1901.
And welcome back to the Terraceum. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network, brought to you by Shoreline Community College. Steve Willits along with Everett Edwards. Mountlake Terrace with the 38-25 lead here in the Terraceum. 6:58 to go third quarter. And, Coach, I would think that 62 seconds into the quarter, you don't want to have to use a timeout if you need to, but sometimes if you see something you don't like, you just have to, right?
Hey, you got to call them right away. You got to make the adjustments early, especially being down, because this is a critical point for Lynnwood here. You don't want to get down too far. As Bryce Milne takes it in and misses a little floater. Tyler MacArthur gets the rebound and is looking to attack.
We're got a lot of contact underneath the hoop there. And they're going to call that one on MacArthur. Or are they?
Oh, that's a tough one there.
Third personal foul on MacArthur. And you mentioned it, if you're going to use a timeout, I mean, obviously if you see something, you need to make that change. And really, to Coach Richards' credit, he called the right play, just Milne couldn't quite get it to drop.
Yes. Basketball in any sport is a game of adjustments, and those well-placed timeouts can make the difference.
Johnson floats that one a little too high off the backboard. Coming down with it is Lamar Patrick, number 23. Walker driving the lane, putting it up, gets it to go, and it draws the foul.
Again, at this pace of the game, fouls could be an issue for Mountlake Terrace for some of their top players. I know you had mentioned earlier that Terrace has some players injured and they might not be at full strength, so Terrace has to be a little bit cautious here as this is real early in the third quarter. And looks like number 35 has picked up his third foul, and that's a big issue. He's going to have to play a lot more conservative now. So if Lynnwood could keep it aggressive and attacking the hoop, that could benefit them going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, when your leading scorer has his third foul early third, that's certainly something to be concerned about, and that's exactly what the Hawks are dealing with now. Another trip to the line sponsored by the Edmonds Sports Academy. We thank them for their sponsorship. 38-28, Anima from the corner.
Yeah, that's what Lynnwood wants. They'd rather have Anima shooting that outside three instead of driving to the hoop there, so that's definitely a win for Lynnwood.
Lynnwood getting exactly what they want so far here in the quarter. Early on still, 38-28. They trailed by 13 at the half. And with this possession, they could take it back into the single-digit range. Milne to MacArthur up on top. He's got 15 on the shot clock. MacArthur driving along the right. Floats it up, can't quite get it to fall.
Great rebound.
That was Julian Walker on the play. Walker only 5'7". Patrick driving. A lot of contact, no foul. The ball was bounced towards the out-of-bounds line. Ryan Lacoste saves it back in. Mountlake Terrace on the possession. Gabe Powder back in the game now playing point guard. Swings it over to Johnson along the right side. Back to Powder.
Lynnwood has to be sure to mark Altenberger there. He's a real good shooter from the perimeter as he lets one go. And, again, you can play zone defense, but you're going to have to recognize where the shooters are. From what I could tell in this game here, they're going to have to watch number 25, Altenberger.
Altenberger misses the shot. It does get called for traveling, however. We're going to take a quick break. It's a 30-second timeout. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
If you've been wanting to get back in the game, whether it's basketball or just improving your fitness level, Edmonds Sports Academy is the place to go. Edmonds Sports Academy, believe in the power of play. Call them at 425-772-1901.
And we are back again. 5 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Mountlake Terrace 38, Lynnwood 28, right here on the Sound Alive Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Everett Edwards. Lynnwood trailed by 13 at the half. They're looking to get that deficit down even more right now as they have a chance here to get it within 8 or 7, depending on what kind of a basket they get. Nima is going to put a stop to that.
No foul.
Picks the ball, lays it in, basket.
That was a great athletic play. Lynnwood in transition. Tyler MacArthur with the assist to Bryce Milne for the layup.
Milne with 8 points now, his first field goal of the game. He had 6 free throws before that. Derek Anima continues to impress out here. Got a little glimpse of what he could do late in the season last year. I think we were about 17 or 18 games into the year, and he had about 6 points for the year, and all of a sudden one night he got put in and scored 12 points, and we knew we had something. Altenberger out for the three. Drains it. Altenberger now with his third three-pointer of the game. He has 11 points on the night.
Yeah, once again, Lynnwood, they're playing hard, but they're going to have to mark the shooter and to give him that wide open of a look. He's probably going to knock that down more times than not. So, again, Lynnwood's going to have to mark number 25 as a shooter.
See if Milne's finally going now. He gets it over to MacArthur. 43-30. Nice spin move by MacArthur. Floats it up. Might have been partially blocked by Johnson. He got his own ball back, though. Lays it in. MacArthur now with 4 points on the night. Ball was almost picked off by Walker in the backcourt. 43-32. Hawks by 11. 4:01 to go here in the third quarter.
Man, you have to give it up to Mountlake Terrace for their conditioning. They've been full court pressing and running the entire game, and they're keeping the pace up.
Neiman misses that shot. Milne on the other end floats up a runner, leaves it a little bit short, comes off the bottom of the backboard. Gabe Powder picks it up, kicks it up to Lacoste. Lacoste drives the lane, gets it to go, count the basket and the foul.
Yeah, once again, Mountlake Terrace is just hitting the gaps and they're attacking Lynnwood. Lynnwood is doing a good job of applying pressure, but they're going to have to find that balance to stop allowing Mountlake Terrace to attack the key and get easy layups there.
Yeah, Patrick picking up his second foul on the play. Lacoste heading to the line for one. Trip to the line brought to you by our From the Stripe sponsor, the Edmonds Sports Academy. Johnson checking out of the game. Shaw checking back in as well, wearing the number 23. He will come in just a moment. Justin Hopkins is the one that replaced Johnson a minute ago. Lacoste missing the free throw. However, Altenberger gets the offensive board and lays it in. That is the second time tonight the Hawks have missed the bonus shot and gotten their own rebound to make it a 4-point play. Number 5 in the game right now, Jared Simbolin. Coach, you know much about him?
He is a very good defensive player. He is very aggressive, very fast on the defensive end, and he can shoot the ball from the perimeter a little bit. So, but he's primarily, I believe, in for his defensive hustle and effort and trying to keep the ball pressure up.
And sure enough, he's guarding Altenberger already in the backcourt. They're going to put a press on here. Turnover on the play. Mountlake Terrace currently with their largest lead of the night, 47-32. Simbolin is, in fact, putting pressure along with Todorov. Hawks able to get it across.
With this lineup right here, Lynnwood's hoping to make a run. Again, down 15 at this point. You hope to get it down within 10 points. But again, they're going to have to mark Altenberger. And
Lacoste pulls up from 12 feet along the baseline. Altenberger was waving his hands on the right baseline.
He was wide open again.
He wanted it badly, too. Lacoste misses the shot. Simbolin starts to drive into the lane. You're going to say Powder got him with a hand check.
It's kind of a situation for the Lynnwood defense in that you can't play every player the same, you know, and you definitely don't want Altenberger to get those open looks. You prefer to have somebody else shooting the ball other than him. So, again, Lynnwood's going to have to make that adjustment.
Need to make it quickly, too. We're getting late in the game here. Nice floater by Mack. Gets his first basket of the game. He now has 4 points on the night, 47-34 with 2:39 to go in the third quarter. Lacoste breaks the press, kicks it back out to Powder. Slows it down a bit. 2:26 to go here. Shot clock knocking on right now.
Shot clock's not running, huh?
Shot clock has not been running there. There we go. Finally, I think we had a little malfunction there for a quick moment. It's finally running now.
Mountlake Terrace is doing a good job of hitting the short corner, looking for that action to try to make the defense collapse in, and they're kicking it out.
Got the look they wanted. Lacoste went up from 12 feet away. It might have been partially blocked. It came right down into the hands of Justin Hopkins. Goes back up strong, misses the basket, but draws the foul.
I'd be curious to see the rebounding totals again. It seems like Mountlake Terrace is getting easy shots off of offensive rebounds, and Lynnwood is having to fight for everything that they're getting. But again, Nayland Seward of Mountlake Terrace has just done a great job over the years of coaching his kids up, and even though they're not at full strength, they're still playing good basketball.
Hopkins misses the first of 2 free throws. This trip to the free throw line brought to you by our From the Stripe sponsor, Edmonds Sports Academy. 2:06 to go. Hopkins gets that one to roll in. It's third point of the night, 48-34. And you're right, Coach. We unfortunately we don't have stats tonight other than I'm keeping score here, but maybe we can get the rebound totals from one of the kids that are keeping stats for the team, because I'm curious about that too. It's definitely heavily favored for Mountlake Terrace right now.
So Lamar Patrick drives to the hoop, gets another foul call. That's 5 team fouls against Terrace and 4 against Lynnwood.
Surprisingly enough, Ryan Lacoste with his first foul of the night for his many fouls as the Hawks have had. Ryan had remained foul-free up until that play. Kicking the ball over, that's Cymbolin one more time. Over to Todorov, back to Cymbolin, pulls up from 15 feet out, leaves it a bit short, comes off the front of the rim down to Lacoste. 1:37 to go here in the quarter. Lacoste driving into the lane. You get a hand check of some sort, a non-shooting foul.
Again, 5 team fouls each. Got a minute 33 left in the first quarter, and we're probably going to have a whole bunch of free throws shooting in the fourth quarter here.
7 is the bonus for the half, so you're right. Every foul pretty much in that fourth quarter on is going to be, let's just say it'll be a thing that the Edmonds Sports Academy will enjoy. I don't know about us for that matter, but Lacoste misses the layup along the left baseline. Comes down to Eli. Edwards pushing it up right now on that right wing. Shoots another long three, drains it.
He got that from his mom. He got it from his mom.
Does he ever like to shoot right at the line? He just seems to step back about 4 feet and gets nothing but net. Lacoste bringing it up, loses the ball. Guess who? Edwards with the steal. Looking to push it, kicks it ahead to Todorov, lays it up and in.
Lynnwood's getting back in it, down by 9. 45 seconds left to go in the third.
Cutting that lead from 14 to 9 in about 30
so
seconds
those
time.
are the fouls that just really are hard. You're way away from the basket. You got to learn to play as hard as you can without fouling. Again, it's a different style of play this year, and the players are going to have to adjust because the refs, again, have been instructed to call it that particular way.
Well, from a coaching standpoint, you want your kids to be aggressive too, though, right? It's kind of a give and take, right? You're telling them and you're pushing them to go all out, but at the same time.
For our girls, we always talk about you want to play as hard as you can without fouling. Again, you got to keep your hands off. The slightest amount of contact, they're going to call that foul.
Shaw pulls up from the free throw line off the front of the rim. Todorov with the rebound. Lynnwood with a chance to cut this thing down to 7 or 6. They were down by 14 just 3 possessions ago. Todorov with the ball over on the left wing. Kicks it to Cymbolin. Being guarded by Shaw. Spin move, kicks it back out to Edwards. He's within his range there, isn't he?
Yeah, I tell you. Shot clock's not running. There we go.
There we go. Shot clock not on again. 9 seconds left on the game clock. Edwards pulls up from 17 feet out. Airballs it. Matt gets the rebound.
I think that was a pass there, Steve.
Hey, if I'm the official scorekeeper, I won't call it a shot. 3.3 seconds to go. It is Hawks basketball. Shaw.
Lynnwood does not want to foul here with 3 seconds left.
Lorraine from half court leaves it short, and we've come to the end of the third quarter in what's become somewhat of an interesting game here all of a sudden. Mountlake Terrace 48, Lynnwood 39. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get right to the fourth quarter. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network. Steve Willits along with Everett Edwards. You are watching the Sound Live Sports Network, brought to you by Shoreline Community College. 3 quarters are in the books. Lynnwood on a 5-0 run to end the quarter. Pulling back within 9. It's 48-39. The Hawks almost lose the inbound pass there as Gabe Powder struggled to come up with that ball. Cymbolin guarding him very closely.
Looks like Lynnwood's gone a straight man here to change it up.
And it works. Daniel Johnson with the long 3, misses it off the back iron. Shaw came down with a rebound. Did they say he pushed off?
He did. Yeah, that's what they called. And again, Coach Richards making an adjustment here, coming out man-to-man, which is great to change up the pace, give him a different look instead of running the same old stuff over and over again. So great adjustment by him.
Shaw picking up his first foul. He now has 6, or I'm sorry, the team has 6 for the half. So both teams at 6. Next foul for either team, we're in the bonus. Todorov bringing up the ball right now. Very patiently, 7:36 to go here in the ball game. Lynnwood trailing by 9. They get it down low to Todorov. Spin move, floats it up, leaves it short. Justin Hopkins comes up with it.
Don't know if Tyler MacArthur is injured. Haven't seen him back in since he went down hard one time, but it's about time for him to get involved and to try to impact the game as well.
And we know it's not he's got 3 fouls, so I wouldn't think they'd keep him out at this point with 3. It must be, we've got to think some way, shape, or form related to that hard fall he took back in the third quarter. Kind of keep an eye over there on the bench and see if we see any movement here shortly. As Powder kicks it back up to Hopkins. They're down to 7 seconds, and Anima wide open under the hoop.
That was just a nice, strong move. Again, Coach Sood has his kids running their man offense, and they ran it perfectly and got a nice, easy look.
Todorov hitting the ground hard. Yet to get up here, so we'll keep an eye on him. He finally gets up, but he's hobbling pretty badly now. Patrick misses the shot. MacArthur about to check back in.
Situation there again, Coach Richards is going to have to figure it out to go man or zone. And that last look in man-to-man, Terrace ran their stuff and got a very easy look. So we'll see if he decides to continue to play man-to-man or goes back to his matchup zone.
And Lynnwood bringing in a fresh batch here. They brought 3 different players in. Obviously, MacArthur checked in because of the Todorov injury, but Walker checking back in, as does Vasquez.
Lynnwood's gone back to the full court matchup zone press here, where it looks like man, but it's really zone defense once you get it across half court.
They are able to do that. 19 seconds left on the shot clock. Powder with the ball up on top, being guarded by Walker. Walker almost got the pick there. Johnson now with 11 on the shot clock. Shaw thought about it, kicks it over to Hopkins. Hopkins driving baseline, floats one up, off the backboard and in.
Good patience by Mountlake Terrace, good patience.
Walker looking to push it on the other end, floats one up and misses it. Anima comes down with the rebound. Keeping the ball so far with 5:56 to go, drives into the lane, floats it up, off the front of the rim, loose ball. Walker comes up with it. And proceeds to lose it off of his foot on the other end as he was being guarded by Shaw. 5:42 to go here in the game, 52-39. Powder kicks it over to Johnson, over to Hopkins in the corner.
Again, Terrace is doing a good job of getting Lynnwood to overextend, and they're hitting the short corner.
Shaw off the back iron. Misses that one, comes down to MacArthur. He's going all the way, floats one up. Johnson got his hand on that ball, missed the shot. Lynnwood yet to score here in the quarter, and we're almost 3 minutes in. Powder over to Daniel Johnson. Hopkins swings over to Shaw, back to Powder.
Terrace showing great patience.
Nice play. Anima waits for the cut, gets Hopkins on the run, lays it up, makes the basket, and it draws the foul.
That's just great offense. Again, great patience, showed their composure. They weren't rattled with the pressure by Lynnwood, and they passed the ball around multiple times and just got a great shot.
So Hopkins goes to the line shooting 1. This is another trip to the line sponsored by the Edmonds Sports Academy. Lynnwood wants a full timeout. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
If you've been wanting to get back in the game, whether it's basketball or just improving your fitness level, Edmonds Sports Academy is the place to go. Edmonds Sports Academy, believe in the power of play. Call them at 425-772-1901. Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.
And we are back again. 5:04 to go in the game. The Hawks 54, the Royals 39. And hey, this segues me into something I wanted to ask you about earlier, Coach.
Yes.
We interviewed, obviously, your team playing before this game tonight. Michaela Pivic was our player of the game.
Yes.
She mentioned this to us that if they shut teams out for a quarter, they get cookies.
That is our strength and conditioning coach, Becky Lewis, and that is her goal and incentive. If we ever do get a shutout in the corner, they do get a very healthy chocolate chip cookies.
And, as soon as I say that, it looks like Lynnwood might be going to the line for 3. But Lynnwood had been shut out for 3 minutes there to start the quarter. I was starting to wonder if they might be getting some cookies themselves on the Mountlake Terrace side. But
oh, man, thank goodness. Hopefully not. Hopefully Christian says all 3 of these here, and we can try to close the gap again. But you got to give it up to Terrace right now. Again, they're playing composed basketball, and even with Lynnwood trying to apply that ball pressure, they're showing a lot of strength and composure.
So Vasquez goes to the line shooting 3. Altenberger with the foul. That's his 3rd. Hits the first shot. Should mention that this trip to the free throw line sponsored by our From the Stripe sponsor, Edmonds Sports Academy. Vasquez floats up another one.
Did not fall in for him.
Not going. He's only at 1 point so far tonight. He had 11 the other night in the game against Mariner.
You know, he hit 3 threes in that game. I remember seeing that one. So, again, Christian is primarily known for his defensive aggressiveness and play. And if left open, he's been knocking down the 3.
Hits the front iron on that one. It comes down to Lacoste. 55-40. Hawks continuing to lead here with 4:53 to go.
Lynnwood's going to have to play hard defense without fouling here. You want to keep Terrace off the line if at all possible and make them earn all their points and not let them get it from the charity stripe.
Powder getting checked, hip check a little bit by Vasquez.
You could almost see it coming. It's just a little bit too much aggressiveness, and that's in the game the way it's being called right now. You're going to have to play hard without fouling.
8th team foul for Lynnwood. So Powder goes to the line shooting 1-1. Came into the game 2 for 4 on the year from the free throw line.
Lynnwood needs to box out. They've been giving up quite a few rebounds on the offensive boards from free throws, so they're going to have to really pay attention and box out.
Powder with his first points of the night. Another trip to the line brought to you by our From the Stripe sponsor, the Edmonds Sports Academy. Powder hits the second as well, 57-40.
Looks like Terrace still in their man-to-man half court.
MacArthur driving into the lane, trying to do it himself. He's double teamed at that point. Anima dribbles the ball off of his own leg, and give Julian Walker a lot of credit as he pressured Anima into forcing the turnover.
Yeah, that was great defense. Way not to give up, and again, playing defense without fouling. I know I keep saying it over and over again, but teams are going to have to adjust because the refs are definitely going to call the fouls.
So Patrick inbounding the ball, trying to find MacArthur. He's double teamed, finally gets it to Walker. Kicks it out to Milne. Patrick thought about the 3, drives in towards the baseline, kicks it back out. We're down to 25 on the shot clock. Hawks fans starting to make some noise.
Looks like we got some type of an offensive foul here.
Gonna call on. It's on Vasquez. Offensive foul, no shooting there. 4:13 to go in the game. Hawks with the 17-point lead right now. Anima taking the ball over the center stripe. He's got MacArthur on him, goes up, lays it up, rims it in and out. They're going to say MacArthur touched it last. Hawks maintain possession.
Yeah, it was a great one-on-one play there. Great offense and great defense by Tyler, not letting them just have an easy uncontested layup.
So Altenberger to inbound the ball.
Going to have to watch Altenberger inbounding it. Looks like Coach Richards called a timeout here.
He does indeed. A 30-second timeout. We'll still take a really quick break. You're watching the Sound Alive Sports Network.
If you've been wanting to get back in the game, whether it's basketball or just improving your fitness level, Edmonds Sports Academy is the place to go. Edmonds Sports Academy, believe in the power of play. Call them
at 425-772-1901.
And we are back again on the Sound Alive Sports Network, brought to you by Shoreline Community College. Mountlake Terrace holding on to that 17-point lead with 4:06 to go. Steve Willits along with Everett Edwards. A game that was close for a while here to start the quarter, and then Mountlake Terrace starting to pull away a little bit. And as soon as I say that, Altenberger with the three, giving the Hawks their largest lead of the night, 60-40.
Yeah, Altenberger's a tremendous shooter. Again, if you give him an inch, he's letting it go, and it's probably going to go in.
Vasquez from deep downtown misses that shot. Altenberger with 4 3-pointers tonight, 16 for the game.
Travel.
And Coach Edwards called it. Referee saw the same thing you did, Coach. Traveling. Turnover, that goes back to Lynnwood. So if you're Lynnwood, kind of looking ahead right now, I know you've had a chance to look at the schedule, obviously, with your son on this team.
Yes.
Archbishop Murphy on the road on Tuesday.
Yeah.
So that's a game you should be able to see, right? You've got to play on Wednesday night.
You know, I hope so. You know, it's really kind of busy as Bryce Milne steps back and hits a three here. Or a two, I guess the refs are calling it.
Oh, they're going to call it.
But yeah, it's definitely a busy schedule with the girls and the boys, and obviously I try to make as many of the boys' games as I can. Again, I love the way the boys are playing hard defense. You know, again, they're definitely more competitive than what they were last year, and all this is getting ready for league play here. As who hit that one?
Altenberger with a nice flush.
Okay, there you go. Mountlake Terrace has some nice pieces here again with Altenberger and number 35
and Nima,
there.
Yeah. Milne working the ball around there a little bit. 2:49 to go. Yeah, so Lynnwood back in action Tuesday at Archbishop Murphy as Patrick floats that one up and misses it. Next home game is Friday against Everett. And very interesting this year, now that we've gone from a 10-team conference to a 13-team conference.
Yes.
When the North and South play each other, the games no longer count in the standings.
They are. They're non-league games, and, you know, it's a situation that both programs, we have 8 non-league games that you can kind of pick and choose who you want to play. And I enjoy that because it's good to play some new and different teams. But, yeah, it's a situation here playing against Archbishop Murphy and Everett. That'll be a good matchup for Lynnwood here to try to get a win on the sheets here.
And the following week, you've got 2 home games, one against Getchell on the 16th and Meadowdale on the 19th. Those could be 2 good games. Those are 2 teams that are struggling a bit right now to get their seasons going. So certainly a few different teams here in Wesco that are trying to find themselves early on in the season.
Exactly, and it is early, and this is a league game technically. You know, this is 2 3-8 teams battling it. And the bottom line, it's about trying to get as many wins as you can for the district tournament. And any of the non-league games, as far as I see it, is simply practice, you know what I mean? Because district is what counts in terms of, you know, trying to qualify for the regional and ultimately the state tournament down in Tacoma.
Lacoste making the first of 2 shots, 63-42. This trip to the line brought to you by our From the Stripe sponsor, the Edmonds Sports Academy. Then we look at the Mountlake Terrace side of things. Couple of really tough games coming up next week for them. Mountlake Terrace hosting Roosevelt next Wednesday night, a Roosevelt team that, from talking to Coach Shute earlier tonight, a very good Roosevelt team.
Yes.
Could be interesting. And then they go down to Highland Community College next Saturday. It should promote both teams on this one. Mountlake Terrace is playing Puyallup down there at 5 p.m. Earlier on in that day, games going on throughout the entire day, but you guys play Wilson at noon.
We do. We play Wilson from Tacoma. I believe Wilson will be a top 10 team at the 3A level, and Coach Sood and I have talked about trying to get the toughest non-league games that you can get, and that's a situation for a lot of the Muscle Milk tournaments where they're playing good basketball, and it's great, again, to see new teams. You don't want to keep playing the same old teams if at all possible, and to play some new teams is good for the long run.
Katzenberger floats up a shot and misses it. Anima coming down with it. We're under 2 minutes to go right now. Yeah, that's a Wilson team we had a chance to watch a few times last year. The Mountlake Terrace Hawks girls team was eliminated by Wilson in the quad district play-in game to try to get to the Tacoma Dome as that ball is blocked by MacArthur.
Great block by Tyler.
Right to Milne, goes coast to coast, floats it up. Powder got his hands on that ball. Forced the shot to not travel quite as far as Milne wanted it to, and Powder comes down with it. And then Wilson actually losing in the first round of the state tournament last year to Cleveland, who eventually won the state championship.
You know, Wilson is returning a lot of their players, too. So, again, we're excited for a very competitive game. And, again, hopefully our Wesco teams with Lynnwood and Mountlake Terrace in that tournament of that event can represent well for Wesco.
Shaw for three, off the mark. Yeah, so folks should definitely go down to that tournament. I know I'm going to try to catch both of those games next week. Highland Community College. Games, I don't know if you guys are the first game of the day or there might be a 10 o'clock.
We play at 12 noon, I believe, is when we play.
Yeah, so I'm guessing there might be a 10 o'clock game in there too, and it really goes all throughout the evening. So
it does. I think the first game is actually at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, wow. Okay, no kidding. Loading up the shot is number 3, Todorov. So really, go down, watch the Lynnwood girls play at noon. There's another game in between. Mountlake Terrace plays at 5 o'clock, the boys. Nice opportunity to watch some good Wesco basketball down there, as well as other teams from around the state.
It is real good basketball. Well, again, just to state, Coach Sood has done a great job with his team. They showed a lot of composure in handling Lynnwood's pressure, and that's just a great sign here in Lynnwood. I commend them for just playing hard. Again, they're playing a good, hard defense, and if we could play a little bit better offense here, I think that will help us out in the long run.
Lorraine and Johnson both checking back in as Altenberger and Anima, the 2 stars of the night, heading to the bench.
Yeah, Anima was very impressive. He really set the tone in the first half. And, again, Altenberger shooting the threes, but I feel it was Anima that really set the tone, and with his strength and ability to make plays driving to the hoop.
Powder hits the second of the 2 free throws, 66-42 with 32 seconds to go. Yeah, Coach, this is a Royals team. I'm excited to see what they can do as the season progresses. I have a feeling a young team starting to get their feet wet a little bit. I think they're going to get better as the season goes along.
That's right. Hey, we're 0-1 in league here with this loss, but it's a long season, and we have a few more non-league games just to work on some stuff and look to make some adjustments. And, the sky's the limit here.
Well, we tick down now 8 seconds to go in the game. And, Coach, we appreciate you coming on here. Certainly we will be covering Lynnwood girls basketball all season long, so stay tuned to the Sound Live Sports Network. Always good to catch up with you.
Thank you
Pleasure
for
to have
having
you on.
me.
Thank you
Lots
very much.
Of fun.
We've had a lot of fun here. Final score tonight, Mountlake Terrace 66, Lynnwood 42. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have an interview with the Red Onion Burger player of the game, as well as get you some final stats. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Lynnwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mountlake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. Join us
at Red Onion Burger.
And thank you for watching.
And welcome back to the Sound Live Sports Network, where our final score tonight, the Mountlake Terrace Hawks 66, the Lynnwood Royals 42. Sitting with our player of the game, Derek Anima. Derek, nice job, first of all. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And now 14 points on your first game of the year,
yeah.
15, and then you follow it up with a 20. You just keep going more and more every time, right? How are you feeling out there?
Feeling great. It feels good. Last game, I kind of rush things. Coach told me to slow down this game, look for my shot, not force it. So, I felt good. All my shots were falling.
Yeah, no, let's talk about that last game a little bit. I mean, obviously, it's a long season, and you can never get too discouraged, but certainly not the results you wanted against Marysville-Pilchuck yesterday. What are you one of those players, or maybe you can speak for the team as well?
Yeah.
A lot of times when you lose a game like that, you want to kind of have some time to regroup. Would you rather just get right back after it again, or do you want some time off to think about it?
Definitely. I'd rather get right back at it. It feels good, they didn't play yesterday and we did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good for us, because all these conditionings we do, we're prepared for it. It feels good.
What was the biggest difference as far as how the team came out and played tonight from yesterday to today?
Focus. And we stayed on top of the game. We didn't let them come back into it. We cut down on the turnovers. We were knocking down shots. Ball movement was good. Everything was just rolling.
Yeah, now, last year, obviously, or the last 2 years, really, this team has relied so heavily on Lauren Lacoste and Greg Bowman.
Yeah.
You guys, some of you younger guys at the time were playing more of a role player.
Yeah.
Now you're asked to step up, you and Gabe and a few others. How are you liking the new responsibilities you have this year?
I think I'm ready for it, we don't have a 6'7", 6'8" like we did last year. So I just got to play big, be strong. And,
And now I'll tell you what. The one thing I've heard this from coaches and I've heard this from parents. So I've yet to ask one of the players about it. So you're my first.
All right.
The one thing that a lot of people are saying to me is that when we look at this team this year, they say the players all seem to really like each other.
Yeah.
Which sounds kind of odd because you'd think that would always be the case, but it's not in basketball or other sports.
Yeah.
Is this a pretty tight group right now?
Yeah, we're really close. We've been close ever since the off season, really, like fall league, summer league, all that. We did do some team bonding. We hang out a lot more. We got our own group chat.
Nice.
We're all talking to each other all the time, so
And that's what
nice.
you want. And hey,
we're close.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you this. Your next game is a game we're going to broadcast right here on the Sound Live Sports Network. Wednesday night against Roosevelt. I don't know much about them, but I've heard they're pretty tough.
They're pretty tough. We played them in a tournament in the summer.
Remember much about them?
Yeah, they got a pretty good guard, but they're going to be tough. We're going to be tough also, so it should be a good matchup.
Very good indeed. So again, 20 points tonight, 16 in the first half, and really you kind of do a little bit of everything. You hit the outside shots. You on the baseline. You drive in there. What do you think the part of your game is that you're feeling the most comfortable with right now?
I think just taking it to the hole, really. Yeah. I think it's easy for me.
And we like that. It sounds good, right? Well, hey, I won't keep you here any longer. I know you want to go celebrate this one with your teammates, but great win tonight. Congratulations again. And by the way, let's hold this shirt up here. You are the Red Onion Burger Player of the Game. And before you take off, I'm going to have you stick around here because we need to get a picture with this.
All right.
We're going to take a quick break right now, so don't leave. We'll come back in about 60 seconds, get you some final stats. But again, Derek Anima, Red Onion Burger Player of the Game. You're watching the Sound Live Sports Network.
All right.
We're back at the Red Onion in Mountlake Terrace, and I'm with the owner, Sean, and the food here is absolutely terrific. The burgers are made with 100% beef, made to order with fresh ingredients. Join us
at Red Onion Burger.
And thank you for watching.
People assume quality car insurance has to cost more. People assume too much. The truth is, drivers who switched to Allstate last year saved money and got better protection. So get the facts, because you know what they say about people who assume. They pay more for car insurance than you and me.
To see how much you can save on car insurance and much more, call Jeff Smar. Jeff's office serves many areas including Lynnwood, Edmonds, Bothell, and Mountlake Terrace. He can be reached at 425-949-7103 or jeffsmar@allstate.com.
Clogged drain? Other plumbing problems? Call Action Jackson Plumbing for 24-hour service. Owned by a lifetime Edmonds resident and Edmonds Woodway grad, Action Jackson is the drain cleaning specialist. They can unclog most internal drains for only $99 plus tax. Call 425-877-5601 or visit actionjacksonplumbing.com.
Hey sports fans, do you want to know when and where your favorite teams in the West Coast Conference are playing? Who won the game last night and what the current standings are? Well, it's easy to find out on westcoathletics.com. The information is entered by athletic directors and coaches, so you know it's accurate and up to date, making westcoathletics.com the place to view official scores, schedules, standings, and photos for all the schools and all the sports in the West Coast Conference. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook and check out westcoathletics.com, the official website of the West Coast Conference.
And we are back again. Look who's joining me. It's Vince DeVero, the public address announcer tonight. Hawks winning this game 66-42. And Vince, one number that's jumping out at me right off the bat, 19-3. That is the point differential between the Hawks and the Royals in the fourth quarter tonight.
Yeah, that was huge. You know, the Hawks over the last, dozen years or so have really established, well, I guess even longer than that, as a defensive team. I mean, that's sort of been the trademark, especially once Coach Sood took over the reins. Not that Coach Otmar and Coach Blevins weren't defensive-minded, but there was a trend going on for a bunch of years that you and I followed where if the Hawks held their opponent to fewer than 10 points in any one quarter, it was pretty much a guaranteed win. And they did that for more often than not.
Yeah, for a few years.
But tonight, it just seemed like the flow of the game started out where it could have gone either way because both teams kind of like playing a little bit more aggressive defense and a little bit more up-tempo offense. But I think, ironically, that when both teams went into that full-court press, in a way that slows the game down a little bit because it eats up more clock. You have fewer possessions if both teams are taking care of the ball, which tonight they did a pretty good job of.
And I noticed at one point there in the third quarter, and Coach Edwards picked up on it,
yeah.
Lynnwood switched over to a man-to-man.
Yeah.
And Mountlake Terrace exposed that pretty quickly.
Pretty quick, didn't they?
Lynnwood realized that
yeah.
maybe this isn't the best
right.
defense for us to play tonight against the Hawks, and sure enough, the Hawks really looking good there in the second half. Let's go over some of the numbers here real quick, and then we can kind of pick it apart as we go. So looking at the Lynnwood Royals, Julian Walker, 10 points. Robert Todorov with 4 points. Eli Edwards, the coach's son, 6 points. 2 3-pointers tonight for him.
And those weren't gimme 3-pointers.
No. Well, maybe for him they were.
Maybe,
I don't know.
But I don't want to play that kid indoors. I can tell you that right now.
Those weren't even NBA 3-pointers.
No.
They were about 3 feet behind the NBA line.
You know, the last 2 nights we saw Bevan hit a couple for Marysville Pilchuck last night that I went, wait a second, is he over the half-court line? But Edwards was pretty close to that, too.
Yeah, he looked really good in those shots, and just the sophomore for him. Jared Sambalin, scoreless tonight, came in for as a defensive substitution late and picked up 3 fouls. Tanner Mack, 4 points. Christian Vasquez, who was one of the leading scorers for Lynnwood last week, only 1 point tonight. Bryce Milne, who looked good at times, 10 points. Lamar Patrick with 3. Andrew Katzenberger was held scoreless. And then this is a big one here. Tyler MacArthur, who's really kind of the go-to guy for the Royals.
Right.
4
points. 4 points, yeah. And he kind of looked out of sorts tonight a little bit. I think partly because of the matchups were probably not real good with him because you have long and athletic guys guarding you. That makes it pretty difficult. And if you don't kind of get off on the right foot and kind of establish yourself on the post, then that doesn't free up anything on the outside. And quite honestly, the Hawks front line and other guys that eventually have to rotate down there to pick up on the defensive boards did a great job of blocking out. Mm-hmm. I think that I don't keep rebounding stats. That's just one too many things for me to do while I'm announcing. But I have to imagine that the Hawks just absolutely dominated on the boards tonight.
Yeah, and that's one thing. We probably should have had one of the Mountlake Terrace JV players come over and share those stats with us because we didn't keep stats here. But the rebounding totals, maybe 2-1.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Yeah, even and the Hawks did a nice job too of if they weren't getting the offensive board, they were aware of a situation where perhaps there was going to be a lazy pass to the outlet man, and I think Derek Anima had maybe 2 buckets off of lackadaisical outlets or somebody not paying attention. There was one on this end and one on that end of the floor tonight that I thought that's pretty heads-up basketball right there.
Indeed. So let's go over the scoring for the Mountlake Terrace Hawks now. Gabe Powder with 4 points. Daniel Johnson, 4 points. Adam Lorraine and Ali Shaw, neither one of them scored tonight. Both played well. It was good to see Ali out there.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah, coming off of an injury. So for him to get playing time and to play well at times, good to have him out there.
That shot's going to come, too, because you saw what he did in the jam session, 21.
He looked good,
the kid was unconscious from beyond the three-point line, so
we'll see.
He's got game.
One guy who's already hitting 3-pointers, 4 tonight, Gabe Altenberger, finished the night with 18, 10 of which came in the second half. Ryan Lacoste just kind of quietly puts up double figures every night. He's got 12 tonight.
Yes, that's so true, isn't it?
It is. I mean, you really you notice Anima, you notice Altenberger, and then somehow Lacoste just kind of gets the 2-pointer here, 2-pointer there, and all of a sudden at the end of the night you're looking and going, oh, okay, 12 points.
Yeah.
Nice to have.
And he is such a hardworking, fantastic athlete that understands his role and makes everybody else on the floor better. And it's wonderful to watch him play. He just has a real strong sense on the court. Not maybe as tall or as much of a space eater as his big brother, but certainly is athletic and is important to this team.
And you know what? One other word we need to mention: tough.
Oh, jeez.
Playing with his shoulder out last night.
Popped it out.
I talked to his dad before the game. Apparently, during the second quarter last night, he actually popped it out.
So that's why he left the floor, then,
Left the floor. I think Shannon Ripley helped him pop it back into place. Came out and finished the game, and by the way, just kind of comes out and throws up 12 tonight. So
if you've never done that, if you've never had a dislocated shoulder, just pass on that.
Yeah,
that's
no kidding.
fun.
And so he's right back out there, and we knew he was tough. We've watched him all football season.
Yeah.
Derek Anima, 20 points total, 16 in the first half, and I'm just more and more impressed the more I watch him.
Yeah, fantastic. It's like with Lacoste, in a way, it's kind of a quiet presence on the floor, too. He doesn't do anything fancy, just plays great basketball.
Yeah, and one thing I liked about interviewing Derek tonight, only a junior, and you can just tell the more you talk to him, he's just gaining confidence as he goes. He just mentioned on the air, he's like, I feel
you could see it last year, right?
Yeah, I mean, you could in that one. I think it was it Glacier Peak? There was one of those games.
Right.
He popped in there and got 10 quick points, and we hadn't seen him all season, really.
Right.
And just as the season went on, we realized that, hey, he's going to be special next year, and he's showing it right now. And looked good tonight. And again, I just every time I watch him play, he just gets better and better, and he's going to be a real force for this team for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
And then Justin Hopkins with I'm reading your rating, I guess that's 8 points tonight.
8 points,
so good for Justin. Nice job down low and giving them a post presence.
Well, the thing about Justin is that he's a smart player. He knows what he's doing out there on the floor. And, again, another guy that makes everybody around him better. And he's just letting the game come to him at this point. I could see where there could be a game sometime along the road this season where he could have maybe a few more points or a few more boards. But in terms of his presence on the floor tonight, it was very impressive.
Yeah,
solid from the free throw line, too.
Impressive enough to where we final score 66-42. Mountlake Terrace wins by 24. They run their record to 2 wins and 1 loss on the season. Lynnwood falls to 0-3. Want to promote a couple of things coming up here. Wednesday night.
I'll just take care of this right now.
There we go. Sounds good. Vince is not only jumping on the air with me, he's also controlling the music here in the Terraceum. So he's cutting the music so that folks will start clearing out. Misplaced my schedule here, but I can do it off the top of my head. Mountlake Terrace right back in here at the Terraceum Wednesday, December 10th against the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Right. A very good team. So we invite folks to tune in for that game. Same night, same time, the Lynnwood girls will be playing the Snohomish Panthers. Kind of promoted this one a little bit already tonight. A very good Snohomish Panther team.
Fantastic team, yeah.
Off to a little bit of a rough start, but most people are picking them to win the 4A Westco Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And that game's at 7:15 at Lynnwood High School. However, we will not be showing that one live. We will be showing it recorded. So it will either be up on our website, soundlivesportsnetwork.com, where you're already at. We'll either put that up later on that night or the next day, but that will certainly be a game worth watching. So we invite you to tune into that. And we're just getting rolling, and this basketball season's already looking like we're going to have a good time.
Should be fun. Should be good.
There we go. So for Vince DeMiro, for Everett Edwards, who stepped in and broadcasted with us tonight, for Cole and for Steven, who did a fantastic job helping to put the show together all evening. And I should give John Richards, a.k.a. Superfan, a shout-out. He ran the camera there in the third quarter.
That's
and
right.
for Angelo Camo and Teresa Whipple, who have been working behind the scenes all evening long for us. My name's Steve Willits. This is Vince DeMiro. You've been watching the Sound Alive Sports Network. Have a good night.
Good night.
Sound Live Sports Network production services are provided by the Broadcast Field Production Class, a CTE intra-district course. If you are a student in the Edmonds School District, you can be part of the exciting world of live sports production. Learn about broadcast announcing, broadcast engineering, and sports reporting while providing a valuable service to your community. Contact your school counselor today to find out more and sign up for Broadcast Field Productions.